iniciativa maravillosa poder traer a Sevilla a una eminencia, a una figura de un prestigio tan reconocido como Philip Lawson, una persona que a todos los que nos gusta el mundo coral y el mundo del canto, pues nos fascina, lo tenemos como, no solamente a él, sino al grupo de los King Singers. Hemos disfrutado muchísimo siempre viendo sus vídeos y tenerlo aquí.
Vamos a empezar. Simplemente deciros o recordaros que lo que aparece en el tríptico es para organizarnos. Al principio de cada sesión, pues necesariamente tenemos que pasar lista para comprobar que están todos los cantores y tanto el sábado como el domingo hacemos una, digamos, previa al trabajo con una vocalización.
Thank you for coming and welcome to Spain, welcome to Sevilla. I hope that in Spain, this beautiful city, we will be your pleasure and that the cast and the concert will be a...
La experiencia de poder trabajar con alguien como Philip Lawson me parece increíble, y hacerlo aquí en Sevilla, además, que no es sitio como Madrid, Barcelona, que se suele hacer más estas cosas. Y además estamos aprendiendo un montón, nos da muchas facilidades, hemos tenido también aquí un equipo muy profesional para traducir, para entendernos, y la verdad es que me está pareciendo muy bonita la experiencia.
A nivel mundial y estamos aprendiendo bastante. Nosotros tenemos un nivel medio y él nos está aportando, la verdad es que mucho nivel.
The event which got me into music was rather unusual because I come from a non-musical family and my parents did not realize that there was music in me, and I was a member of the Boy Scouts and decided that I didn't like the Boy Scouts because the games they played were too rough. I was getting injured and hurt. I thought, I don't like this. And my friend at school said to me, why don't you join the choir that I'm in? It's great fun. We're in the gallery at the back of the church and we mess around in the service. So I gave it a try. And almost immediately I realized this is what I want to do. I loved the English church music that this choir was singing. It was a good boys' choir with some good men behind. And I came home with the director of music who said, Philip is going to sing in our choir. And I remember saying, I want to sing in it. I'm so excited. And so they then bought me a piano. Eventually, because there was no piano in the house, and I started playing and making chords and tunes, and it was in a way my escape from the realities of life, which I think is what it is for so many people. I didn't realize at that time that it would be my career, but I'm very pleased that it has been, because I get paid for doing something that I love, and that is so lucky.
It needs to be, actually, what it needs to be, that is softer, because the whole idea is that the strain is dying if the melody is going away. So, it had a dying fall. Just really whisper that last.
Mi opinión sobre el taller es que es un taller magnífico, donde estamos trabajando técnicas de voz, pero sobre todo obras y teniendo en cuenta no solamente lo que es la técnica, sino también la sensibilidad, algo que en muchas ocasiones se nos olvida a la hora de cantar, y es una experiencia increíble.
music is to be found in the cathedrals. And particularly Americans think that English choral music is all wonderful because they hear our cathedral choirs, which are great, as yours are. But they are a tiny minority of what is going on. And at school level, as I said before, the investment is not there to provide that kind of resource for normal children. In America, the situation should be different because singing in a choir is one of the educational disciplines like history or geography. You go and you learn it every day, and there are thousands of teachers there who are not music teachers in the school, but choir teachers, and that is just their job, just teaching the choirs. I would love a job like that. That would be my dream, but I don't want to live in America. So, in theory, the American choir tradition should be good, and the best choirs, like the Concordia choir in Minnesota, are absolutely fantastic. But in the normal high schools, and even in some of the colleges, they are lagging behind somewhat because they don't have the resources. I mean, Westminster Choir College was closing down. I don't know what is happening at the moment, but the last I heard, it was gone. And this is for them a massive tradition. It's almost like Westminster Abbey Choir closing down, or Seville Cathedral Choir disbanding. It's amazing, but this is what's happening. So, yeah, very different.
Bueno, estamos pasando un fin de semana magnífico. La experiencia de conocer a Philip Lawson ha sido muy impresionante, la cercanía, y hemos compartido muchas experiencias en las que hemos confirmado muchas de las formas de trabajar que tenemos junto con los cantores del Coro Santa María y con el ámbito del mundo coral sevillano en
el anuncio en el conservatorio, que soy profesor del Conservatorio de Sevilla, y en cuanto que lo vi, pues ya me metí en la página web del coro y entonces pues ya me enteré toda la información y junto con mi chica pues nos hemos apuntado.
Este señor está haciendo una obra auténticamente de misericordia con nosotros porque nos está enseñando muchísimo en muy poco tiempo. Es verdad que es muy intenso, que hemos tenido que estudiar mucho, pero merece la pena y espero que de verdad sea una idea que se repita no solo con este señor, sino con muchos otros artistas, porque se aprende muchísimo y me encanta.
So slightly warmer sound. Okay, from there, here we go, bar 19, 2 and 3. Change the vowel slightly on that.
Apasionante, son todas composiciones suyas y algunas no son originales, pero sí son arregladas por él. a mí se me está revelando como aparte de un gran cantante, como un gran compositor y como
In
un gran
2009, you were rewarded in the world-renowned Grammy Awards. Has this been the most charming acknowledgement you've been given in your career?
Yes. We were very surprised to win the Grammy because the album called Simple Gifts was made on a very small budget. We did it in a recording studio. I don't know whether is the pop group Status Quo known in Spain?
Yes.
Okay, so the lead singer of Status Quo, Francis Rossi, his engineer, recording engineer in the 1970s, was the brother of one of the King Singers, the alto in the King Singers. And when it came the time to do Simple Gifts, Greg said, I think I can probably get you Francis Ross's studio to work in. And so we said, yes, please. And not only did we work in it, he was there. Francis was there, and he was coming into the studio every half an hour, and he talks like this, non-stop. We were trying to make a record, and he is, oh, all right, everybody all right? Yeah, how's it going? Yeah, we're fine, thanks, Francis. Can you go, please? And it was a tiny, tiny room we were recording in. The studio is very big, but the actual recording room is tiny, you know. We had almost like to do this. And there wasn't a lot of money to do post-production. So when we'd finished the album, we thought, yeah, we like it, but that's okay. And then next thing, Grammy nomination. Wow. And then the next thing, Grammy Win. Oh my goodness.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, thank you. It was a great honour to be given that. They wanted to give us one Grammy between the six of us, just the one. And our manager said, no, it has to be one each. These boys co-produced the album with Greg, you know, it wasn't just him, so they have to have one each. So we got one Grammy each. It arrived in a box, and when we opened it, it's a Grammy. What did it say? The Grammy is awarded to the King's Sisters. Not the King's Singers, the King's Sisters. So they had to send them back to California, and they had to redo the plug. And I said, please can I keep the wrong one? I need to keep this. So now if you go to my office at home, above the office it says, presented to the King's Sisters.
De un repertorio muy especial y muy escogido para esta ocasión. Además, Philip es una persona muy sensible al trabajo que los cantores han desarrollado durante este fin de semana y realmente creemos que hemos conseguido estimular con este trabajo a los aficionados y a todos los cantores que practicamos la música.
The next bar was a little bit of a car crash, so you need to be very careful that you listen to. And then the altos. Don't sing that too early. That deep.
What authors did I borrow the grip? Okay, I love composers like Benjamin Britten, Igor Stravinsky, Ralph Vaughan Williams, an early 20th century English composer. But also I love the Renaissance composers as well. So in England, William Byrd, Orlando Gibbons. In Northern Europe, Lassus and Josquin. But also here in Spain, Victoria, Morales, Lobo. Alonso Lobo wrote a piece called Versa est in luctum, which I think is almost my favourite choral piece from that era in the world. And when I hear music like that, it inspires me, and I can't do music like that because I'm not good enough. But you have to try. You can only try. So there's one or two people that have inspired me.
Este hombre está lleno de técnica, de sentimiento, de pasión, se le exprime y hasta el último jugo sale música por su boca, en sus expresiones físicas, y nos transmite muchísimo.
Particularly the top three voices who have the word sweet. So that it doesn't just go like the sweet, like the sweet. Just change the colour slightly on that word if you can.
Phil se ve una persona súper llana, súper cercana y nos está haciendo un taller muy fácil, porque a pesar de la barrera del idioma, oye, nos entendemos, el que quiera hacerse entender se entiende. Y así que pues a mí me está pareciendo una experiencia, además de enriquecedora, súper bonita, vamos, que se me ha pasado.
Muchas gracias al Ateneo y al Coro de Santa María por la iniciativa, muchas gracias.
Other music than vocal music. I love orchestral music of the 19th century. I love Brahms, his piano concertos and his symphonies. Yeah. I love Schubert. I love Mozart, opera, magic flute, Marriage of Figaro, fantastic music. I'm not a particular fan of late romantic, Wagner, a little bit too big for me. But then after that, Stravinsky, Benjamin Britten, marvellous. And then going way back, the sound of a viol consort is, to me, one of the most beautiful sounds. And to hear the music of Byrd or Gibbons played Fantasia on the viol is just nectar, pure honey. So my father was not a musician, but in the Second World War he was evacuated. You know that they took the children away from London and he was evacuated to a place in Devon called Budleigh Salterton. And the parents of the house where he and the other London boys were staying made them change into their pyjamas for the night and come downstairs and sit in the dining room, and they would put on a record of classical music. And my father had never heard anything like this before in his life. He was from a poor London home, and he was enraptured by this. And this experience sparked his interest in classical music, and he then took me and my brother to hear many concerts in London in the Royal Albert Hall. And it was there that I heard things like, you know, Tchaikovsky, 1812 Overture, Britten, Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra, Brahms Symphony, you know, and he passed that on to me. And I will always be grateful. He died 7 years ago, but I will always be grateful to him for passing on that love of classical music to me. I tried to pass it on to my own children, but all they want to do is listen to pop. So, not quite true, but you know. Anyway, the youth of today.
de trabajar con alguien que ha ganado un Grammy, que es un gran compositor y que nos ha compuesto pues una pieza para nosotros, es una buenísima oportunidad para ese coro que es amateur y que tiene esa cercanía, esa familiaridad.
Las palabras, "If music be the food of love, play on", son unas de las más famosas escritas por William Shakespeare y se declaman al principio de Twelfth Night por parte del duque Orsino. He compuesto esta obra especialmente para esta ocasión y lo entrego como un regalo personal a Sergio y Coro Santa María para celebrar el magnífico logro de cumplir 25 años haciendo música. Me gustaría agradecerle a Sergio y a todos los aquí presentes por darme una bienvenida tan cálida y cuidarme también. Y no solo al Coro Santa María y al Coro Ateneo Hispalense e Iberoamericano, y su director Martín de Miguel, sino a todos aquellos que han venido de otros lugares, los cantores, cantoras y a Clem por su excelente traducción y a Oscar por su interpretación al piano. Por tanto, celebremos los próximos 25 años. Gracias.
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate the work that you're doing here. Please accept my thanks for all the hard work you are doing. It is marvellous. And let's take 5 minutes. Okay, just 5, no more. 5.
Lo que animo a todo el mundo que pueda que asista al concierto porque va a salir.
Trucos, muchos consejos, entonces estamos enriqueciendo mucho nuestra labor.
I love the music of the Spanish Renaissance so much. When I was at university, the chamber choir performed Thomas Luis de Vitoria's 6-part Requiem with film scenes behind from the Second World War. So you had images from the war projected on a screen and this gorgeous music singing. It was magical, I shall never forget it. And from that day I have loved that music of his, O Con Gloriosum. The Morality Magnificant is another piece I've done. And in 2008, I think it was, maybe a bit later, the Kingsingers did a CD called Cilio d'Oro, and we sang so much of this music. The Lobo Versa Est in Luctum, my favourite piece, was on that record, but we did Vivanco Lobo Est, Versa Est in Luctum, and we did a mass by, I can't remember, I think it might have been Guerrero, I can't actually remember, but absolutely beautiful music. So it's a big rival to England in Spain, a big rival.
Take charge. Okay, a little bit more presence to the sound. Okay, 1.
Con la asociación musical Coro Santa María en la organización de este taller coral con Philip Lawson. Esta actividad nos anima aún más a la Junta Directiva del Ateneo Hispalense e Iberoamericano en continuar con nuestra labor en la difusión de la cultura y en la creación de sinergias con asociaciones culturales para conseguir metas que solo sería difíciles de alcanzar.
Es decir, que más que agradecer a todas las personas que han formado parte, tanto activa como de forma colaborativa con toda esta forma de entender la música, por supuesto al Ateneo Hispalense, a la congregación de dominicos y a todas las personas que de alguna forma se han preocupado porque este tipo de iniciativas salgan adelante. Yo creo que este va a ser el inicio de muy buenas experiencias y desde luego la de este fin de semana ha sido algo espectacular.
Mr. Lawson, what are your expectations about this choral workshop?
It has to be perfect. I will accept nothing less but perfection. No, I really enjoy working with these singers, and I am amazed to hear that a lot of them do not read music at all. And this is wonderful that that Sergio is preparing for them tapes, recordings of their own part, and recordings of the accompaniments to this part, and they are learning them on their own. Okay, they are not doing enough, but I told them they're not doing enough today, and they should be now in their homes listening to this music. And I have told them as well that tomorrow we will do a concert, and we want the standard of that concert to be as good as it possibly can be. And I know from today and from last night that they will try their best, because they are lovely people and they're giving it everything, as I am. And I'm really having a wonderful time. So thank you for having me.
And thanks for sharing your knowledge with us.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much. I think you need urgently a beer.
This is a good idea.